How about now? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Thank you, Minx. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. I'm doing great, Wrenches. How are you? Hi, Eve. Um, can you guys hear me over here on give me just a minute, Instagram? Can you guys hear me now? Okay. Okay. I was trying to figure out my microphone because sometimes it flashes and then sometimes it's just a steady red light. So the steady red light it means is on. So my apologies. I did speak to everybody on there. So let me scroll back through there. Loudon, thank you so much. It was my microphone on the other side I hadn't turned on. I apologize. So let me go back and repeat what I said. Hey, Will Jones. Hi, Lisa Marie. Hi, Rhonda. Hi, Jesus Girl Betty. Hi, Kim. Let's see. Hi, Marie. Let's see. Sure did. Jose Danny. Susan Colt. Queen Cha Cha. Hey, Queen Cha Cha. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Sharon. There we go. How is everyone doing? I missed you guys. Hi, Legally Black 1908. Okay. Okay. I take it you are probably a alpha. Alpha? No. Is alpha? Hold on. Fratern. Okay, I'm not too familiar with fraternal orders, but 1908 looks like it's probably the. Hold on. You got the Qs, you got the Kappas. You're a Kappa. I assume that you are a Kappa by the year. Hey there, Ruby. How are you? I got it. I got it right. Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate you. Hey, Leonella. Hola, how are you? Hey, just be real. I was waiting for you. How are you doing? How are you doing? Hello, everyone. AKA. Okay, I'm sorry. AKA. I don't have my glasses on, so I couldn't see whether you were female or male. Hold on. Let me put the glasses on. Hold on. I think these are wrong glasses anyway. Hold on. Nope, can't see out of these too well. So I apologize. I can't see the picture. I got the wrong glasses. I don't have the right glasses with me. Hello, Eve. How are you? Love, peace forever. How are you doing? Your first time live, Rhonda? Will you? Hopefully you enjoyed it. I mean, you will enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for joining me. Hi, Nicole. Andrea, aka. Okay, okay. I'm not too familiar with the sororities and fraternal organizations, but I know 1908. I'm assuming okay, AKA and hold on. Let me think. Hold on. I know 1908 is also the Kappas. Hi, Saida. Hey, Stormy. Denise, how are you? Thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Hey, Jana. St. Louis. Okay. Hi, Tracy. Oh, thank you. I cut them down so they're not so super long. I had so for you guys that may not know, thank you for joining me, Margie. For those of you that may not know, I had surgery, and so because of surgery, I couldn't really sit up straight in a chair. So I was not able to come on live. Wanted to come on live a couple of times, but you see, I kept having to like reschedule. And Just Be Real did an awesome job coming in and talking to you guys. Thank you so much. Just Be Real. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. She came in and spoke on my behalf, but I wasn't able to. I thought I was going to be able to get back on camera, but I wasn't able to get on camera because I wasn't able to sit up straight in my chair. And so I didn't want to oh, I'm doing great. Thank you so much. Shoes no more. I'm doing fine. Thank you so much. But I wasn't able to sit up straight like this. And so I didn't want to get a camera and record from the bed looking up at you guys from the ceiling. So, but I am back. So my apologies for the long pause, but I am back. And thank you guys for being so kind and so patient. Thank you. Toronto, Canada. Okay. Euland, how are you doing? Thank you. So Ireland. Okay. Okay, Ireland, I see you. Oh, I'm great. Thank you so much, Marie. I'm doing great. Thank you so much, Tracy. I appreciate you for being here. Millie Mills. How are you doing? Hey, Dawn, how are you? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, you guys ready? So I was just waiting for upstate New York. I'll be Marie. I'll be in New York next year. So hopefully you will come to my conference. I'll be in New York next year. And Australia. Okay. I said I was going to come to Australia one day. I'm just trying to fight off these big spiders and snakes and stuff in my mind. These bugs, these big bugs you guys have in Australia. But I do want to come to Australia. I really would like to see the city of Sydney. I would like to come to Sydney. But I will be there. I want to come to England, so some of you guys know that I am, I am, I am coming to England. I want to come to the UK. I definitely want to come to England. Definitely want to come to England. But I will be in New York next year. This year I will be in Los Angeles for my conference on July 29th. So I want to make sure you guys come. Shush no more. When I come, I want to make sure because I know I don't know if you're in England. I'm not sure if you're there in that area, but when I come, I definitely want to meet you. Yeah. Ooh, snakes and tarantulas. Ugh. But thank you so much, Jesus Girl Betty. Thank you so much. I'm doing great. Thank you. But yeah, Cambridge. I'm gonna have to check out Cambridge. That's England, right? In England. I'm not familiar, so you have to work with me. But I definitely want to come, and I'm definitely want to take Apostle Sadler with me. So if I come, we coming together. We coming together. So when she's ready, I'm ready. We can ready come to England. I don't know when, but we coming. But I'll be in New York next year. This year, I'll be in Los Angeles, California, July 29th. I need you guys. I need you. I'll get a boat from England to Ireland. Oh, cool. Hey, Danielle. But I definitely want you guys to come to my Los Angeles conference. It's July 29th. I'm going to be there. You guys are going to meet Danielle. Danielle's always there. You're going to meet, if you guys love Telsha with the T on MPD, she's going to be there. Confessions of a Christian Girl, Tasha Leland is going to be there. Of course, Apostle Helen Sadler is going to be there. This year, you guys are going to meet Kathy Gibson. My Life is Intentional. She's going to be there. My sister's going to be traveling. Bridget Gibson, who was there all the the other time last year, she was there with me. And we have a new guest who is Dr. Paula Tucker, who is a trauma professional. She's a researcher in trauma. And this year's conference is unpackaging the trauma. Some of you guys, listen, some of you guys need to invest in yourself. Everything will not come from a content on YouTube. And I promise you, just like Just Be Real, just like Danielle has said in the past, when you come to these conferences, there's more discussion going on in these conferences than there is on YouTube or on social media. Everything that I want to say, I can't say on YouTube. But when we are in the presence of each other, there are a lot of things I can say in detail concerning, for example, childhood sexual abuse. Things that happen to children, things that have happened to you in childhood. This is some of the things we're going to be talking about. Generational trauma. You guys grow up in generational trauma, drug addictions. We're going to be talking about a whole lot of stuff this year, and we're going to get down and dirty with it. So some of you guys are going to have to bring your tissues, but listen, but I'm telling you guys, you want to come. People that have invested in this conference have said themselves it was the best investment they have ever made. You can't get everything for free on YouTube. You can't get everything for free. Sometimes being in the presence of the people, up close to Be Free, you're going to see her on camera. She's going to be right there on Zoom with us. But listen, that you can't get everything for free just watching videos. Sometimes you have to be in the presence of the people that are the healers, the people that are going to give you the information, the people that can reach out and touch you while you're at that conference. And I promise you, you will not regret it. It is well worth Los Angeles, California. Yes, you got to bring, Rencha said yes. You got to bring some tissues because she sure did cry. Now listen, so I will be in Los Angeles, California on July 29th. And Just Be Real is going to put the link on there so you guys can get your tickets. But you need to be, don't wait till the last minute, y'all. Don't wait for the last minute because we're going to have general session, and we're going to have general session from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock. And then from 7 o'clock to like 11 o'clock in the evening is VIP. And in VIP, we're having roundtable, and we're going to continue the discussion in detail. And this is your opportunity. When you're there, you can reach out and talk to anybody that's on that panel. You can sit in the corner. We can sit and talk and pass the microphone around. But this time we're getting down dirty. And this is VIP dinner, formal occasion. We're doing the dinner in the evening this time. We're going to eat lunch together, but we're going to leave out of the conference room and go eat lunch during the general session. And during the VIP, I was in Dallas 2 years ago. That was my first conference in Dallas. But we're gonna do the VIP and we're gonna have hands-on. We get to touch you guys, love on you guys, sign books, but we're gonna get in depth. So you guys got to bring some tissues, but don't wait till the last minute because we got to get the head count, okay? And listen, and Apostle Sadler is having her conference in Chicago. And her conference is from the 11th of August to the 14th of August. And so the link is already up for hers as well. And of course, Just Be Real usually posts all that. And Danielle is her moderator. So Danielle will post all the information for Apostles Conference. And the people that you're going to see there, Apostle Sadler, you're going to see Bishop Kathy Gibson, you're going to see Cluster B Free Karen, you're going to see Tasha Leland, you're going to see Telsha with the T on MPD, you're going to see Apostle Williams. Yeah, I mean, you it's a great lineup. You can't miss it. Listen, and this one happens to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we're going to take a tour of the city on Monday when we check out of the hotels. And so this is in Chicago, Illinois. So you don't want to miss it. Listen, we're going somewhere in the United States and somewhere. So I need you guys to be there when we're there. But I promise you, you don't want to miss out, especially on this narcissist conference. Mine is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. And this year's theme is unpackaging the trauma. And some of you guys are still traumatized. That's why we're going to talk about some things about what the process of pain and losing a narc may look like. So give me a second. Let me turn on Clubhouse and get Clubhouse up and going. And then we're going to get started. So those of you that have Clubhouse, usually what I do is I come on here and Rencha said we have a lot of laughs too. We sure did. Yes. And the first seminar, the one I did in Dallas, she came to that one. There was a lot of healing in that one too. And so, listen, you got to invest in yourself. I'm telling you, you got to invest in yourself. So those of you being at the conference in person it was healing, wasn't it? Hello, everybody. But yeah, Miss Shirley, she came to my very first conference in Dallas, and I am so grateful. Thank you so much, Miss Shirley, for setting that off. Danielle, she's at every conference that I've done two. This is my third one. But Danielle came out, didn't even know who I was, came out there to my conference and supported 100%. She's always there. When we travel, she's always there. And I can't thank you guys enough. Thank you so much for finding value in something that I have to say. Because I didn't think, in the very beginning, when you first do it, you don't think anybody going to come like that. I don't want to hear what I got to say. And people came, and they came to Atlanta. And so this year we're going to be in Los Angeles. We're going to find something to do in Los Angeles. So we're going to find something to do after the conference, like that Sunday, because I think I'm leaving that Monday. So we're going to find something to do. Hey, Victoria, and who's that? Shelly and Mylisha and Michelle. Hello. So I'm just waiting for a few people to come on. If you have Clubhouse, just to let you know, what I do is I usually do some teaching on the live YouTube. I'm on Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and I am on Instagram. And so I usually do the, teaching. I teach about the topic. And then what I do is I may answer questions for a few minutes. I answer questions. And then what I do is I switch over to Clubhouse so you guys can personally ask me some questions. And so I love you too, Danielle. Thank you so much for your support. But it's a app, Heidi. You can go to your app store on your telephone and download Clubhouse. And once you download Clubhouse, just look for Overcoming Narcissist Abuse or Dr. Carmen Bryan. I think it's Dr. Carmen Bryan or Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. And just tap in, and then you can come to Clubhouse and you can personally ask some questions. Not some personal questions, but you can ask some questions. All right, well, let's get started. So the topic for tonight is, and everybody can hear me loud and clear, right? Everybody good? So let's get started. So tonight's topic is what the process of pain and losing the narc may look like. All right. And just ground rules, please do not answer questions. If people are asking me questions, don't jump in and give your personal opinion. I do have people on here that can answer certain questions, like Just Be Real, Danielle, Stevie Bananas. He's not on here right now. And I have some other moderators on there that can answer questions. But whatever you do, Don't go on somebody else's live. Don't ever, don't ever try to market yourself on here. Don't market other people's sites on here unless you've already cleared it with me. Don't market any sites, and don't go in and start answering questions when people are asking certain questions, because of the fact that you're dealing with wounded people and they're looking for an answer from the host. So allow me to answer those questions, okay? But this is what I want to talk about. The process of pain and losing, what it may look like. Okay. First of all, understand that let's just go all the way to the beginning, well, kind of in the middle. There comes a time where a lot of people make a decision that I can't do this anymore. Now, some of you guys haven't built up the courage to do the discard yourself. Some of you haven't done the discard yourself. I don't want my little green screen to fly out from behind me, but some of you haven't been able to do the discard yourself. So in your heart, you're hoping, I hope they just find somebody. I hope they just leave so I don't have to do it. And for some of you guys are the ones that made the decision to leave. Now, you guys already know that the narcissist is competitive anyway. So if you try to beat them to the discard, they can sense that something's going to happen. So what they'll do is they'll discard first. Now, some of you guys are going to go through that cognitive dissonance. On one hand, you're relieved. On the other hand, you're offended. On one hand, you're glad that they did it and you didn't have to do it. And on the other hand, you're upset at the fact that they beat you to the discard. On one hand, you already know that you needed to get away from this person. You knew that you needed to get away from this person. But on the other hand, you can't figure out, why am I hurting so bad? Why does this hurt so bad? For a lot of you, you have been invested in this situationship for a very long time. But you also have to remember, even if it wasn't a very long time, the short period of time that you were in there was traumatic enough. It's like you've been with them for 10 years, you've been with them for a whole year. But for a lot of people, it's the heartbreak and the grief of knowing that something that you wanted didn't work because the other person didn't want it, or just coming to the realization, or telling yourself they really didn't want me, or they really didn't love me. And what you don't understand is they don't love anybody. They don't want anybody. They want what the person has. They're dysfunctional individual. They're disordered people. They have a personality disorder that alters the way that they think, the way that they feel. They do not have emotional empathy where they can put their feet in somebody else's shoes and feel their pain. They just don't. And the sad part about it is you can cry and they'll mimic, or they'll replicate what you're doing, but there are no emotions behind it because they don't have emotional empathy. They don't feel the pain that you feel. Even in your mind, when you're thinking to yourself, but you've been wounded, but your parents did this to you, but this happened. So how can you not be sensitive to what you're putting me through or what I'm going through? Because it happened to you. That's the part of the disorder. It was so painful, they shut off all emotions and all empathy so they won't get hurt again. So they can't connect with you like that. They have cognitive empathy, and cognitive empathy gives them an understanding at how emotions work. So they know how to manipulate you. And then they watch you and they may replicate your facial expressions. And a lot of times, like it could, someone has died, and they'll contact the old supply. They'll contact the supply to see how you react to the news. And then they just replicate you, but they not only replicate you, they're going to go one above. You crying, they hollering and falling on the ground. They go overboard with everything because they don't know how to regulate. And so you have to understand that you're dealing with a disordered person. And so when you're racking your mind thinking, I just don't understand. I've given you 20, 30, 40, 15, 60 years of my life. How can you just walk out and you don't even care? Some of you watch them walk out, or you discarded, and a few weeks later, there was somebody else. Not only are they with somebody else, they pretending either to be married to them, or they getting ready to get married to them, or they done got married to them. 2 weeks knowing them, they got married. First of all, remember that they got a better source of supply. Now, understand that what you think a better source of supply is not actually what a better source of supply is. A better source of supply doesn't mean that they're better than you. A better source of supply means that they're ignorant to what the narcissist is. They're gullible, they're naive, and they give them copious amounts of fuel because it's a new toy for both of them. And so that new supply does not know what they're dealing with. And so not only are you now grieving the fact that how after all these years is it like you never even been with me? We got kids together, businesses together, homes, cars. The ink ain't even dry on the divorce paperwork, and you already with somebody as if you've been with them for 20, 30 years. One narc said, I want to give her everything that the old supply, what they call an old supply, but I want to give this new supply everything that the old supply didn't appreciate. And what it was is he was love bombing. And number two, the new supply didn't realize that the price that she had to pay for what the other one didn't accept. And the other one knew stuff about that narcissist that the new one didn't know. So that's why she didn't accept all that. She didn't accept that. That's garbage. You have no idea, what that person has went through. And so don't look at the new supply as what does she have that I don't? What does he have that I don't? Ignorance. And ignorance just means that they lack knowledge. They don't know what they're dealing with. And so there are a lot of emotions you're going to go through. You're grieving, but you don't understand, why am I grieving so hard when I know this person is bad for me? Why am I grieving so hard? This is a different type of grief. There's one type of grief where someone has died and you're grieving because you'll never see them again. And there's a second kind of grief where there's several different types of grief where you're grieving and the person is alive, and you're grieving an alive person, a person that is still around. And then for those of you, you have to understand too that when you, and I'm not going to be long tonight, but I always say that, but I mean that. But there's another thing you have to understand is that when you are with a narcissist, male or female, and you have children by that narcissist, the children are affected too. Some of you were married, some of you were, you had partners, live-in partners, and when you and that narcissist split, it affected your children. And the thing about it is, some of you get angry at the fact that your children are grieving this narcissist, but you got to understand that children, when they're little, they don't understand what a narcissist is. And it's not up to you, as small as they are, to tell them how bad their mother or father is. Because what you're doing is you're actually playing into the game of the narcissist, and you're actually pushing the child into the arms of the narcissist. You have to have age appropriate conversations. But the hardest thing for most parents is to have to look at their child, knowing that when a child is that young and they really don't understand what that mother or father is who's a narcissist, all they want is their mother and father to be together. All they want is their mother or their father. And in their small little minds, they think that it is my fault that narcissist left. And it's not the narcissist to the child, but they think it's their fault that other parent left. And some of you have went through it too as children. When you got older, you knew better. But when little kids are young, and some of this follows them over into young adulthood, is that I wasn't good enough. You didn't love me enough. I have to do something, and I have to work to winning your love. A narcissist always wants people to work to win their love. They do things to make you work really hard because they feel like no one deserves my love unless you work for it. A parent, a real parent, you ain't have to work for a parent's love. A real parent that is not disordered. And when I say a real parent, I don't mean biologically. I mean a parent that's not disordered. You don't have to work to make that parent love the child. There's unconditional love for that child. They're going to love, that's their child. They birthed them. But with a narcissist, you have to understand that there's a mental disorder going on. Yes, narcissistic personality disorder is a psychological disorder, but is a personality disorder. It is a disorder that causes them dysfunction in the way that they think, the way that they handle people, the way that they interact with people, the way that that's why they have so many problems with people around them. Some of them are cruel, some of them are hateful, some of them are mean, some of them are critical, and they're the same way with their children. But the child does not know because they grew up in a household like that. And at a young age, all they know is that I wasn't good enough. You left me. So a lot of them deal with rejection. A lot of them deal with abandonment issues. And when they get older, They seek people to fill in those voids. They seek people and friends. Some of you have become people pleasers. Some of you have become codependent on people. Some of you have a problem with attachments. And so some of you have developed borderline personality. A lot of that comes from trauma. And you hold on to things and people. It's almost like a disordered grip. You hold on and it breaks your heart if people leave, if people, graduate from school. There's a different type of grief you go through, and you can't understand why you're grieving the way you're grieving. But for children who grew up like this, they don't really understand that the root of the problem is you got a disordered individual that has wreaked havoc on the household, and the children are trauma bonded to this narcissist as well. And so some of these kids are growing up with attachment issues. Some of these kids are growing up with relationship problems. Some of you have grown up and you don't know what a healthy relationship is supposed to be. My sister preached about it today. Go and watch Into His Chambers Global Ministry. She talked about relationships today. I had no idea that's what she was going to talk about, and she had no idea this is what I was going to talk about, but it kind of fell hand in hand on the same evening. But a lot of you, and some of this stuff is what some of the stuff that we're going to be talking about at the conference. This is some of the trauma that we're going to be dealing with at the conference. But some of you are the children that you don't realize in your mind, in your young mind, and some of you haven't gotten over that yet because you never addressed that piece of trauma. In your mind, you feel like I'm not worthy to be loved because my mother or my father even left me. I wasn't even worthy enough. I have to work for their love. Maybe if I'm nicer, maybe if I do this, maybe if I do that, it'll make them love me more. But that is a disordered individual that has caused this thinking on a young child. And even if they're, and even from homes that did not have disordered individual and they got divorced, children think like that. And so think about this pattern of thought, and you're growing up with this pattern of thought, even as an adult, and the type of relationships or situationships you have been in, because that trauma has not been resolved. That trauma right there has not been healed. That trauma has not been healed. And so some of you, and there's some other stuff, I'm gonna make another point and then I'm gonna go to questions. But for some of you, you lived with a narcissist and fight. It wasn't even fight flight mode because you weren't going anywhere. You were in fight, freeze, that fawn, deer in the headlight look. I don't know. There was a video on YouTube where this deer froze. It was fight, flight, or freeze, or fawn. It's called fawn. And the deer just froze in the middle of the street. He was that petrified that he froze. So a man got out of his car to pick the deer up, to help him and move him into the grass across the street. And the deer was stuck in this position. So when he picked the deer up, at first I didn't think the deer was real. The deer was real, but his knees were locked and the deer was frozen and wouldn't move. Neck was frozen and everything. And he picked the deer up and moved him to the other side of the street. Some of you guys have lived like that. You have lived in a household, whether a child or whether an adult. You've lived in a household in freeze or fight mode, and your adrenaline has been pumping. And that adrenaline has been tearing the inside of your body up because the adrenaline don't know when to stop pumping. So you have been in survival mode, walking around like you're in a dream. That's a part of PTSD as well, where you're walking around dissociated, where you're walking around in a dream, like you're looking at life go on around you in slow motion, like you're in a dream, because you are so traumatized. Not only that, dissociated. It's like you can't remember. Your days start feeding into each other. All you know, you're on automatic pilot, and all you know is wake up in the morning, take a shower, brush my teeth, go fix the kids' lunch, take them to school, go to work, come back home, take my clothes off, take a shower, and some people don't even shower. That is signs of major depression, major depressive disorders, where people stop grooming themselves. And then you cook, make sure the children go to bed, read a story, and everything is on autopilot. Everything is on remote control. And then when the narcissist leaves and your body starts to cut, it's like you've been in a war zone in your own house. You've been in a war zone in your own house, and all of a sudden they're gone. Some of you guys are afraid of the peace and quiet. There are more clients that come to me after they have left or the narcissist has left, and they're in their home in peace and quiet having panic attacks. They're in their home and they can't stop the ruminating thoughts. They have panic attacks all the time. They're anxious all the time because of the fact your adrenaline is still pumping and you're waiting for, I guess they call it the shoe to fall. You're waiting for the next thing to happen because you tormented the narcissist with peace and quiet. So the narcissist could not handle peace and quiet. So they're always going to cause more trauma. They're always going to cause, and you're looking like, dang, you can't even, dang, it's peace and quiet in here. You always messing up everything. You can't even enjoy the peace and quiet going on in the house. No, they can't because it torments them. And so you always waiting. If it's too quiet in the house, you already know something's getting ready to happen. They're going to argue about something. They're going to come in the house acting a fool. Something going to happen to keep you on your P's and Q's, going to keep you on your tippy toes. And so you get into they leave and you in your first time peace and quiet, the peace and quiet is now tormenting you. And you are having panic attacks. You're anxious all the time. Reason why is because your body is waiting for something to happen. Something always happens. You have been conditioned to believe something is getting ready to happen because it kept on happening. And so now your body is starting to relax. And so guess what happens? Your guard is going down in your privacy in your home. Your body is learning to relax. The adrenaline is going down. And now you find out you got holes in your chest. You got holes in your heart. You got what is it? Acid reflux. You got ulcer. You got liver issues. You got spinal cord problems. You got high blood pressure, but you didn't know you had high blood pressure. Cholesterol done went up. You got fibromyalgia. You starting to have migraine headaches, and you start thinking to yourself, well, why didn't this happen while I was in the situationship? Because basically you were in survival mode. I can't die. I got to survive. Now, after they're gone, your body's relaxing, and you're wondering like, what has happened to me? You're losing clumps of hair. Some of you guys had beautiful big afros or beautiful blonde flowing locks or brown, beautiful big hair. And all of a sudden your hair done thinned out. You lose it. You get in the shower and you got chunks of hair coming out and you can't figure out why. Your nerves bad, girl. Your nerves, dude, your nerves. Trauma, if you look and study trauma, it's in your nervous system. It is in your nervous system. Your nervous system is your entire communication system to your body. It is going from the brain to the rest of your body, and your nervous system is shot. So you got stuff going on. You got brain fog. You got short-term memory loss. Some of you can't remember long-term stuff. That's why we talk about no contact, and that no contact is so important because no contact puts distance between you and the offender. It puts distance in between you and that person to give your body time to relax, to give your body time to heal, to give your brain time. It's almost like your brain slow down is like this. So your brain is going real slow. Everything is in slow motion. They leave and you got to get that distance between so your brain be like, hold on, let me click back into where I'm supposed to be. Let me turn back over and start clicking. And all of a sudden you're like, dang, I'm starting to feel, no, I can remember things. Like I can, I don't know if any of you guys remember during COVID, if some of you guys had COVID. I did. I had COVID, and I remember having brain fog maybe 2 weeks later. Like I had COVID, so I was quarantined. Me and my daughter were quarantined. We both had COVID for like a week, but it wasn't until the second week where I had the brain fog, and it was so. Oh my gosh, it kind of scared me. I'm like, what in the world? When I sit with clients, there are certain clinical terms that I use to describe and explain things. And it was like I was talking and I couldn't recall the terms that I would use all the time. And I'm trying to think the one word that I used to say all the time and I couldn't recall. I'll think of it later. But it was something that I say on a daily basis when I'm talking to clients dealing with trauma. And it just wouldn't come. And I was like, I cannot believe, like, I couldn't recall how to spell things. I was like, what is going on? And it dawned on me. I was like, the after effects of COVID. So imagine, I can only imagine, for some of you guys having that brain fog. And it's like you can't recall things. Things don't click that fast. It's called brain damage. Is it reversible? Absolutely. But you got to remember, the longer you're in it, the more your brain is affected. And it could come to a time where your brain, it just can't handle anything anymore. That's why a lot of people, they have nightmares. Complex PTSD and PTSD, a lot of them have nightmares. A lot of them have day terrors. A lot of people have all sorts of stuff going on. Dissociation. You dissociate. There's time spans that you forget. Like you don't recall doing this, or there's pieces and parts of time that you can't remember being within that time frame. Like, how did I get from here to there? All of us have is not a disorder, but all of us dissociate from time to time, especially if you got a lot on your mind. Like, you driving home, you got a lot on your mind, a lot of stuff you're trying to get your grocery list together, you're trying to figure out what you're going to do, trying to get the conference together, and you're on automatic pilot, and you end up at home, and then you think like, dang, I don't recall driving home. You have to think really hard, like, I don't recall the drive home. I was just on automatic pilot. That's a mild form of dissociation. It's not a disorder. It's not anything's going to affect you, but those are mild forms of dissociation. Or like, it's almost like daydreaming, but you're not daydreaming. It's like you blank out for a minute. Now imagine people doing that on a longer, and dissociation is, when you start dissociating for longer periods of time and it turns into a disorder, that right there, is a sign of trauma, because the brain is going to do what the brain is going to do to try to protect you. And that's the whole body. Most people don't die from the accident, they die from shock. So imagine if your body, is acting like a shock absorber, trying to keep you from dying, from a major accident. Imagine what's happening in your brain. Your brain has now become a major shock absorber, trying to keep you from losing your mind or having psychotic episodes or going into your mind and not being able to come back out. So these are all the things that happen. And I hate to use the word losing a narcissist, because a narcissist never belongs to anybody. People don't belong to people anyway. That's called slavery. For a narcissist, that's how they see you. They see you as a piece of property. They see you as you belong to them. So it doesn't matter how long, but you belong to them. And I hate to say losing a narcissist, because they never belong to anybody anyway. Most of them are community property. So, don't ever think that they belong to anybody. They don't belong to anybody. So I'm gonna open it up for some questions. Just be real. Give me about 5 minutes. Give me about 5 minutes, and I'm gonna answer some questions, and then I'm gonna go over to Clubhouse and talk to my Clubhouse family for just a few minutes. And I appreciate you all. Ooh, excuse me. I got to get back into the mode of doing Sundays again. I'm not used to doing Sundays again, so I get tired real quick. And thank God I'm not on medication. So, but yes, Cluster B said, was married for 33 years to a malignant narc. Brain fog, brain damage, 2 years, no contact. MRI showed major healing. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yes. Black girls get their, I don't cuss, I'm sorry. Let's see. Oh, shift together. Okay. I see you. My father looked at me as an extension of him, like I was his property. Exactly. That's how narcissists see you. They see you as an extension of themselves, especially if you have a child, or if you were the golden child, or you were the child that was most likely to succeed and you were doing well. They saw you as being a part of them. And so when they brag about you, they're bragging about you because you're making them look good. Let's see. Having narcissistic parent and then dating two narcissists and marrying one, I actually became psychotic. I have now been diagnosed with schizoaffective disorder. I'm so sorry, Kia. I'm so sorry. Hey now, Deborah, how are you doing? Yes. Let's see. Uh, excuse me. All right. Well, let's see. I tried BetterHelp, and I had 3 sessions with my therapist, and she had to stop seeing me because of personal issues. I tried BetterHelp after going through several therapists that didn't work out. Okay. You can go to Psychology Today too and look for therapists in your area. Can you talk about smear campaigns? That would be a whole different tonight is just about the process of pain. But that's a whole nother um, that's a whole nother teaching. There we go. That would be a whole nother Sunday. And I have some videos on smear campaign too, but that would be a whole nother conversation. Let's see. I have depression and manic and anxiety, and you're manic and have anxiety. Okay, so you're probably bipolar. If you're depressed and have mania, then you're probably bipolar. Uh, why is it okay to teach our children about religion, sex, gender equality, etc., but it's advised not to provide age-appropriate information about inappropriate behavior of the narc parent? I disagree with that. I do believe that you should have age-appropriate conversations with your children. Believe it or not, I believe, I believe, if you catch them at a young age and you begin to have these age-appropriate conversations with your children, you can divert them from going onto the path of developing NPD themselves. And so I agree. I don't know who said it, and I'm sorry that they said that. I disagree with that statement altogether. But I do agree that you should have age appropriate conversations with your children about the parent. But keep in mind, if you ridicule, dog out that other parent and everything, what you're really going to do is you're going to push the child into the arms of that narcissist. And so you have to, because you're teaching them empathy as well. So you have to teach them certain things like that's not appropriate. That's not what we're supposed to do. Sometimes when people are have been hurt, they can become ugly and blah blah blah. You have to have these, but you don't want to say your father or your mother is a narcissist and this is how that's not, that means you're still angry. That's not the type of conversation you have with your children, because later on you can introduce narcissism. But when they're little, you have to address the behaviors. You're addressing the behaviors. You're addressing certain things that are happening. And then you're also teaching them empathy by saying, remember when this person did this, or how do you think it feels when you did this? How did it feel when this person did this to you? So you're trying to keep them, you're trying to help them keep that empathy, develop that empathy instead of transitioning over and developing NPD. So I do believe that when you start having age appropriate conversations with your children, and remember, you have to get your feelings out of the situation and focus on the child, focus on the behavior, focus on what is happening. Don't focus on he ain't no good anyway. She a garden utensil. Don't do that. Don't do that, because what you're doing is you're harming yourself. And what you're doing is you're pushing your child away from you. That's not what you want to do. You're playing into the hands of the narcissist when you do that. Your podcasts have helped me with my healing and understanding my father's NPD. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Shirley said, totally agree. Because of the ex-twin daughters, I helped raise them with age-appropriate explanations. See? Exactly. Exactly. You guys, excuse me. Let me take this off. What age should you start having conversations with young people about narcissism? Trust me, they're talking about it in school. You'd be surprised when you start watching a lot of these videos. They'll come to you and start asking questions about it. You'll know. I can't give you an age range because some of our younger kids are they're getting smarter and smarter. My daughter came home one day and said something about somebody in school had a very narcissistic behaviors. I didn't realize that she actually hears me when I'm recording videos, or hears me when I used to listen to the videos. So, and then I do have conversations when she asks me questions. Thank you. Yeah. Should I cut off family that's still in company with the narc? You have to make that decision. You have to make that decision. Is it beneficial to you? Are they feeding that narcissist information? Is it causing problems? That's a decision you have to make. Could you please tell me what the name of your sister's ministry was? Okay, so she was ministering today on behalf of my mother. And so the ministry is called Into His Chambers Global Ministries. You can look up Apostle Helen Sadler, but it's Into His Chambers Global Ministries. You can go on Facebook and find it. And she ministered today. And what she was meant, go and watch that today. That would be some additional healing for you. So, ladies and gentlemen, my moderator has put up the clock. I don't want her to get to start throwing the clock, but she has thrown up the clock. Told me it was time. So I'm going to be obedience, and I'm going to go over here to Clubhouse for a few minutes, okay? And um, how can you talk to your kids and take your feelings out of it when you're still dealing with moving on yourself? You, I had to do it. I had to do it. You have to put your emotions to the side. You have to focus. Is about your child right now. You're still dealing with it, but you have to think before you talk. And when you think before you talk, when you have control issues with your kids say, "See, just be real." But yeah, you have to move your emotions out of the way when you're welcome, Stormy, when you are talking to your kids. I was going through it, but I had to talk to my child, and I had to catch myself to make sure, I didn't want to call him that fool and this, and no, I couldn't do that, and so I had to be careful when I said what I said to her and put my emotions to the side to have a conversation with her, even though on the inside I was like, oh, you see what I'm saying? It's about your kid. It's about your child. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go over to Clubhouse, y'all. Okay. And so I'll be back next Sunday. But during the week, just go to TikTok, YouTube, go to my Facebook, go to Instagram. I post my videos on there. TikTok been tripping lately because normally I can do a video and it'll post automatically to Instagram because I had to connect it. I don't know what happened, but like it won't do it. So I have to go and personally put it on there. But listen, I have a conference July 29th in Los Angeles, California. If you can't come, you can watch it on Zoom. You can pay for it and watch it on Zoom. Just go to overcomingnarcissistabuse.ticketleap.com and purchase your ticket. You can do general session from 8 to 5, or you can do VIP, which includes general session, and VIP, which is a formal event in the evening, and dinner will be served, round table, and continued discussion about trauma. So if you liked this conversation right here, imagine how much more we go in depth when we are at the conference. And when I say we go in depth, we talk about some taboo stuff. And when I say we talk about some stuff, we talk about some stuff. Last year we had a one. I'm gonna try. What I'm gonna try to do? I'm trying to do a video and do a clip of last year's. Do some clips of each speaker from last year's conference, so you can see some of the conversations that we were having. But thank you so much, Miss Deborah. But you don't want to miss it. Listen, this is the best investment you can make in yourself. You're not going to get everything from YouTube. You're not going to get everything from social media. When you come to these conferences, it's a whole different atmosphere, whole different types of people that are there. You will be surprised. You get to meet us in person. We get to hug you, sign your books. I come around and sit down and talk to people. I laugh and joke. I I laugh and joke throughout the whole conference, laugh and joke with you. If we have an opportunity, some of you guys that come early, we can go have breakfast, because I'm coming in Friday. So if you guys are there, we can go have breakfast, and then we do the conference on Saturday. So, because usually I come in on Friday and then prepare. I have to set up everything. Me and my team set up everything for the meet and greet for VIP on Friday. And then on Saturday is the conference. And so VIP, we're doing a meet and greet. Now, anybody else comes, if I'm there early enough, we can go do some breakfast or some lunch. And then, but I do VIP and I do meet and greet with VIP on Fridays. And then on Saturday, we have the conference. And trust you me, I promise you, you're not going to regret it. This is money well spent. It's worth your time. And for some of you guys, you need this. You need this. Getting stuff free on social media is not going to hit the root. Hey, Rigga, I haven't seen you in a real long time. I hope I hope you are doing well. I don't know where you at. You need to make an appointment with me. I need to know what's going on in your life. You need to email me because I need to know what's going on in your life. I was thinking about you last week and I was like, man, I wonder how she's doing. So I just want you to know you are on my mind. But listen, so I'm going to get off. But listen, go register for the conference. You can't come in person. That's fine. Go on Zoom. You can register to be on Zoom. But I really would love to see you guys in Los Angeles, California, July 29th. Go to overcomingnarcissistabuse.ticketleap.com. And for those of you that are going to be joining Apostle in Chicago, Illinois, from the 11th to the 14th of August, go to Destiny Helper at destinyhelper.ticketleap.com. It is destinyhelper.ticketleap.com. And mine is overcomingnarcissistabuse.ticketleap.com. So hers is destinyhelper.ticketleap.com. Get your tickets, and you're going to see a whole lot of more people at her conference because it is a 3-day conference. Mine is a 1-day conference, okay? So I really, really want you guys. Thank you so much, Jules. I really want you guys to come. Yes, healing. I will see you in LA soon. Yay! Yay! So I really want you guys to come out there and see me in LA. I travel from state to state. I travel across the nation because I go out there to put information out there. And I go out there because I want to meet you guys. I want to meet who supports me on YouTube. I want to meet you guys. I want to meet the people that say that I have helped them. I really want to meet you guys. And next year I will be in New York. So those of you, it'd be a different topic, of course, but those of you that are in New York, hey, meet me out there in New York. I will be in New York next year. I just got to talk to some of you New Yorkers to find out where in New York I need to go, because New York kind of big. And I found there's 2 airports in New York. I know it's John F. K. and then there's another one, but I got to find out where in New York I need to go. So I'm going to be in New York next year. But I really want to meet you guys. I really want you guys to come out, okay? I want to see you guys. So I'm going to switch over to Clubhouse. You guys join me over here in Clubhouse. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for being so patient. For those of you, like I said earlier, for those of you that didn't know, I had surgery, and so I wasn't able to come. Manhattan? Okay. All right, Miss Maria. I'll check out Manhattan then. And so, so I had surgery, so I wasn't able to sit up like this, and so it was kind of hard. And then on top of that, I was in pain, so I couldn't really talk a lot. But thank you so much for those of you that checked on me. Thank you so much for those of you that were waiting for me patiently. I appreciate it because I know I was going for a while, and so I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, and I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. You guys go be great. And Miss Marie, I'm going to check out Manhattan. Like when I get off of here, when I go lay down a little bit, I'm kind of look through there at Manhattan. If you don't mind, email me. It's drcarmenbryant@outlook.com. Email me so that I can ask you some questions about Manhattan when I start looking through there, okay? And then possibly you can come and help me when I come. I have my team that comes with me, but you can possibly help me, when I come to Manhattan. Hopefully you'll be able to come out there. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. And thank you so much for being here. You guys have a wonderful evening. Thank you guys so much, okay? Thank you guys. You guys have a good evening. Good night, Instagram. Good night, everybody. Good night, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter. You guys have a nice evening, okay? Good night, everybody.